Yo, what is good, my fellow deadheads? Your overlord has returned, and it is about that time. As you can see here, we need to go back and revisit the tier list, and we need to go back over the yellow units because Toji has released in the game now, and I also realized that whenever I did the tier list on the yellow units, I did not incorporate Dagon in the list as well. So, or I didn't even talk about him in any, slight variation or anything like that. So we will be talking about Dagon today, and also just making some changes to the tier list. I'm just gonna look over the tier list now and just see how much things have changed. But if you guys do enjoy these tier list videos and me just kind of going over the units and giving you an idea of the landscape of all the units, then go down below and leave a like on the video. You can subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hit the comment section, and hit the, oh my gosh, and let me know what you want to know. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and just jump straight into the tier list. I don't want to hold you guys up too long here. So last time we were here, we put Inumaki in honorable mentions. I'll be honest with you, at the point that I'm putting Inumaki in honorable mentions, I feel like I might as well just put Mekamaru in honorable mentions and put Inumaki down here. And I'm also going to put Dagon in honorable mention as well, just because he is ass, one, but two, if you are slacking for yellow units, because let's be real, look at how many yellow units on the tier list are easily accessible to all of us. Megami is in the standard banner, cool. Shoko is not. Gojo is. Yuji is not. Yaga is. Kaito's everywhere. Junpei is. This Kaito is not. This Nanami is, but like, I can't front of you. Once you're down here, it doesn't really matter if they're in the thing or not. Typically, if you're looking at a color, you usually want the top 5 units because the team is literally composed of 5 units. And this right here is a legitimate freaking team. You can have Megami as a your debuffer, basically with his domain. You can have Shoko as the buffer. You can have Gojo or Yuji as your main DPS. You can have Yaga there as a debuffing support, and then literally just leave one of these two DPS in the back line in case somebody dies. Or if you want to, leave Yaga in the back line and work something out where you have Kaito on the team instead, and then Kaito dies, somebody comes from the back line, right? There's a lot of different variations of how you can run this team of these top 6 units right here. These guys are just a very solid, tight-knit group. Then you come down here to like 7 and below, and you're just kind of like, okay, now you're gripping at straws. Now you're like, okay, I could use these units, but are they going to give me the 100% absolute max experience that I could get doing this mission right now? I feel like Junpei is maybe one of those characters who's right on the edge, even more so than Kaito. By the way, Kaito's banner is coming out on global, guys. Do not be baited. Kaito is good, but Kaito is not that good. Obviously, he's number 8 in my list here, and he's only beating out units who are super out of date. But yes, do I want to make any changes up here? I can't front of you. I think Megami is actually the most impactful yellow unit in the game for yellow units, for any units. And honestly, I think Shoko is definitely going to be second place as most impactful yellow unit just still to this day, just because she just goes so freaking hard. She has the buffs, she has the heals, she got an attack AO or attack ultimate that boosts damage dealt as well. Like she is solid, man. She's so good. Then you got Yuji and Gojo right here. I feel like if I were to make a change right here, these two would be like very interchangeable, because I feel like where maybe Yuji has more damage than Gojo, I feel like Gojo maybe could have a little more versatility in more situations, maybe. I mean, he has a physical attack, he has a jujutsu attack, he has a buff that he can constantly stack, and then his ultimate hits really hard, and his AoE. You can never discount these AoE ultimate units. So honestly, now that I've said all of that out loud, Yuji's single target damage is absolutely menacing, but I think I'm still gonna have to give Gojo the edge right here. But now, here's where it gets really tricky. What I think happens is Nobara goes off the list into the honorable mention section, right? I don't want to put her down here and be like, yo, she's relegated off the list. Like Inumaki, I'm sorry. Even though he could have an SP buff coming up, I'm just like, he is just too dead in the water right now for me to leave him on the list rightfully. I just can't do that. So I had to take him off. Once he gets an SP buff, I'm being optimistic. Once he gets an SP buff, he could possibly shoot above Junpei, maybe even above this Kaito right here. But still, this Kaito is still absolutely a menace. But yes, Nobara is definitely off the list. So let's just go ahead and move everybody down, and we'll just talk about where we're gonna put Toji. So let's grab Toji up and let's talk about his skills a little bit. I'm thinking, I'm thinking right here below Yaga. So let's look at his skills and then come back to the tier list and then divulge why the dead man thinks this. Also, big shout out to whoever runs the wiki, because I remember the last time that I was doing a video like this, I was talking about Kamo and Yuji, their SP buffs and everything. And I remember that the wiki was not updated for that, but bro said no longer, no more. We are on this shit. So bro, I appreciate you for having the wiki, like, you know, ready immediately. But let's go ahead and take a look. So the main thing about Toji is good damage, right? He's a good damage dealer, as you could imagine. He also has a self buff because of Playful Cloud, but then also he has a bleed built into his kit, which is very similar to Sukuna's laceration, except for it is not all across his kit. Actually, it is actually very similar to Sukuna, because each stack of Sting increases an additional damage by 20%, just kind of like how Sukuna does the additional 20% damage per stack of laceration. So actually, his DOT works just like the laceration, or the Sting works just like laceration. So he's pretty evil in that regard. Now, one thing that I think could have gave Toji a real edge is the fact that when he does his buff right here, Sharpen Fang, increases own damage dealt by 25% for 4 turns, increases own critical hit damage by 50% for 4 turns, and then grants Sharpen Fang state for 4 turns. While in Sharpen Fang state, changes the skill effect into Pierce. So one thing that I do not like is this buff that he gives himself right here. First of all, the skill costs 0, which is crazy to me. Once he gives himself this buff right here, he can't stack it, because once he goes into this state, as long as he's in that state, he is going to be doing this skill instead. So it turns into Pierce. Increase own break damage by 250%. All of his skills cost 0 curse energy, by the way. He's a heavily restriction user. Why was I even thinking that? But increases own break damage by 250%, which is really good. Deals 200% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy. Inflicts 1 stack of 40% continuous taijutsu damage. Sting 4 turns. Each stack of Sting increases by an additional 20% for every stack of Sting, right? And increases his own combo count by 3. Also, I forgot, his combo count pretty much gives him an extra 4.5% damage per combo count, and he goes up to 30 combo counts, and then he gives him 160% of damage, right? So if breaking or defeating an enemy by itself, increases own combo count by 5, 1 time per turn. Defeating an enemy with Sting won't be counted towards the auto skill. So that's a little unfortunate, because the Sting is a part of his kit nonetheless. He also has an evade built in with 20% chance. He also recovers 3.5 HP each turn, and he decreases the damage that he receives by 15% consistently, and has grants guaranteed hit immunity to self, and cannot be targeted by certain skills or statuses. So Toji is actually pretty busted, I'm not gonna lie. One thing that I think they missed an opportunity with is the fact that when he does his skill 2 and it puts him in the Sharpen Fang state, it only changes his skill 2. If you look at his skill 3, his ultimate, and his skill 1, none of those have other effects whenever he's in the Sharpen Fang state. So hopefully they amend that. Not even as like a SP buff type of thing, but maybe like a balance adjustment, because I feel like you could have at least added some sort of extra effect on these skills. Like, okay, decreases or deals 250% melee taijutsu damage to all enemies, and then increases own combo count, increases 2 counts per enemies, right? This could be changed to, like, you know, instead you get 3 counts and you boost your damage though, or something small like that, right? But it's just like, it didn't have to be a crazy world of difference to transform the entire skill. No, it could have just literally been like, I'm not asking for another Awakened Gojo. I'm just asking for you to be a little more intentional when you make these units. Like, stop. This is hard bait, because they held back on this unit so much. Because why, when every other character in the game who goes into a separate state, all their shit changes, all their shit has better effects? Like, why does this character, who's absolutely hyped, that you know people are going to summon for, people are going to struggle to not summon for, Billy, that you know that they're fucking hype, that you know is an anniversary level character, why would you hold back on this character? Come on, dude. You're trying to make people summon and then hold back on the units anyway. So then after they summon and the dopamine runs out for, like, yes, I got the character I love. You're like, damn, this character's actually not that great, right? And I'm not saying that Toji's not great, but I'm just saying he could have been leagues better if they would have just taken the extra step. All it took was 1 more fucking step, and just, or I guess 3 more steps, and just making a little bit different skill effects on these 3 skills. You already made the entire unit anyway, and he's already kind of busted everywhere else. You just missed it. You just missed it at some parts here. So now that I'm looking over his skills and everything, I'm thinking I might put Toji right here. So the reason why Yaga is below all of the buffers is because, like, yes, Yaga does make all these buffers look a lot better, but he does that in a different way than Megami. Megami, it's like night and day. Once you are in Megami's domain, you do 3 hits with Megami, like, enemies getting wiped. Enemies getting scrubbed up, bro. Okay, Shoko. Shoko literally just puts an extra level of relief in your mind as you're doing missions. Like when I'm playing missions with Shoko on my team, I'm literally not worried about losing. I'm not worried about dying. I'm just not worried about anything. I'm just like, I feel like I'm the boss, and the computer's trying to find a way to stop me. Shoko's just unfair. Gojo, again, I feel like Gojo is just a bit more versatile, even though Yuji might have more outright damage. But Toji is going to go directly below Yuji because, and by the way, guys, my boy Slug is goated. That man just read the kit initially, and before seeing anything, he already made this assumption, and the assumption was correct. I wanted to wait to watch the videos and everything, but like, hey, bro, the goats know what they're doing. Just the goats know, bro. But basically, the speculation is that Toji is better in a long-term type of battle, whereas Yuji is better in a short-term type of battle, right? Maybe the same premise could be made for like, okay, like Sukuna and then Blue Yuji, right? They literally made that man Blue Yuji absolutely perfectly formatted as a character for long battles. He's probably gonna be better, you know, in a long fight. He's literally set up that way. He is meant to get to a high number of turns and then start doing some really incredible shit and protect your entire team. Whereas Sukuna is just gonna build up that domain and start getting them lacerations early and start ripping that ass up early as hell. So it's just another one of those kind of situations. One character just works a little bit better for like a straight up nuke type of composition, or a straight up just like burn them as fast as I can composition, and then other characters are going to be better for those long-term compositions. I do like the fact that Toji has a self buff for himself, but I do hate that the self buff does not change any other skills besides the self buffing skill, which makes it so that I cannot buff and stack that. I would love to be able to stack that, especially because the buff says for 4 turns and doesn't say 1 time. If it doesn't say 1 time, I want to be able to try to stack it. That's all I'm saying. That's the only point that I'm making, chat. But yes, over Yaga, just because like I feel like he's really close to Yuji probably, but he's not quite there. But they really do hold him back by not giving him all of his skills changing over once he does his buff. You know what? We'll keep it originally how it was. That is what I'm feeling right now. I think that these guys are still the top 5 because I'm just like, it feels bad to put Yaga out of top 5 for a unit like Toji, right? Because Toji is good, but like Toji's just not on that Yuji tier of like damage unless you're in a longer fight. So I had to leave Toji right below the top 5. The top 5 is a very hard, like, you know, they do not change much, like very often, but like down here is susceptible to a lot of, you know, changes. We got Nanami down 1. What changed the most? We put Mechamaru here. Oh, because Mechamaru, Slug was doing 65 on the stream yesterday that I was watching, and somebody kept telling me to use Mechamaru. So maybe Mechamaru is relevant for some tower floors, right? So I put Mechamaru there for that. Nobara is here because somebody complained when I made this video and said my Nobara is better than my Nanami, and I'm just like, okay, bro, it's case by case basis. Come on now, everybody's account doesn't look the same. And then my speculation is more kind of like, who is deadass just better? Like, bro, I feel like my maxed out Nanami versus my fully SP Nobara is probably hitting better. And plus, since Nanami is an old unit, so units who do not have SP buffs yet are not better than units who do have SP buffs because they're going to get an SP buff in the future. Old units who do not have an SP buff yet are better than units who have an SP buff because they have no SP buff and they could get one at any freaking moment. That is why I pride so much on Nanami right now. Because I'm just like, yo. And Junpei already got his, but like Junpei is not going to be your main damage dealer. He's not going to be your main buffer. Like if you're using Junpei as your main buffer, you might be kind of chopped, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. But yeah, no, I'm comfortable with the list looking like this. Dagon again is just here really because they could possibly start forming the game in a way where Dagon actually is kind of powerful. Like they could make some units that make him a lot better if he's ran in synergy with them. That's why I'm putting him here for now. But if they wait, like, I can't front of you, the next like 1 or 2 yellow characters that they release, you know, the next 2 times I do this tier list, if no characters at all that they have released in the time frame are actually improving Dagon's state in the game, then I'm gonna have to throw him back down in the relegation hole down here where that boy Inamaki got put up this video. But if you guys did enjoy the video, then please do go down below, leave a like on the video, let me know what you think about these about this ranking here. Let me know if you feel like the dead man is off base anywhere, but I can't front of you, I think this is pretty stock standard across the board maybe. But yes, comment, let me know what you want to know when I let the Murasaki go at these hoes. But you guys can have an excellent day. Yeah, I'm not going to ask you to have an excellent day. I'm going to tell you to have an excellent day because I know that you guys are capable of doing that. Have an excellent day, Magic Knights. The Dead Man does love you, and I am stepping out. Peace.